And finally tonight, remember way back when we had that Chinese spy balloon that just floated over the country benignly? It didn't mean us any harm. It was like Winnie the Pooh pretending to be a little storm cloud and trying to get honey from the bumblebees, right? It wasn't going to do anything bad, right? At least that's what we were told. We let it traverse our entire nation, spying on all of those missile silos and Air Force bases. And why did we do that? Why did we let it go all the way across the country again? Well, Pete Buttigieg, he's our Secretary of Transportation, so of course he should speak on an issue of national security, espionage, and the military. He said this.
Anytime the military is considering an operation like that, they have to consider the safety of the American people. The president called for this to be dealt with in a way that balanced all of the different risks. That's exactly what happened. Military did a terrific job. From our perspective, in the DOT, of course, our main concern is the safety of the national airspace. This thing was above where flight operations happen, and so any debris would have passed through that national airspace.
Yeah, see, listen, all you crazy right-wing MAGA fascists, just shut your mouths and stop criticizing this administration. You can't shoot down a high-altitude spy balloon like that. It's unsafe for the people on the ground that it could land on, and it's unsafe for the airspace where we've got passenger jets flying back and forth all over the place, and now you're going to get this debris hitting all of these airliners. Come on, morons, you can't do that. So whenever there's an object flying over our country, we're just going to let it drift across until it gets overseas, and then we're going to shoot it down. That was the administration's story last week. And then a few days later, take a look at this graphic from our friends over at Fox News. Boy, they couldn't get enough of shooting down objects over the land. Oh, look at that. Friday, we're shooting it down over Alaska, the Yukon, over Michigan, right over Lake Huron there on the border. Another one on Saturday over Montana. Maybe it's me, but it seems like all of that shooting down of things over the land would have the exact same safety concerns that Mayor Pete just told us prevented them from shooting things down a week ago, right? Aren't there people living in those areas? Aren't there passenger jets flying above or below the debris that was going to fall from shooting those things down? Why suddenly does this administration think it's space invaders up there? Oh, speaking of space invaders, these are still unidentified flying objects. My favorite moment over the weekend was when a reporter asked an administration official, can you tell us what these objects are? And the administration official just said, well, they're unidentified. By definition, we don't know what they are. They're unidentified. For the first time, I actually felt sorry for somebody in this White House having to deal with the morons from the press. Excuse me, can you identify the unidentified flying object? No, that's why it's unidentified. Now listen, I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens. Karine Jean-Pierre is the spokesperson for the White House, and here's the thing. People were freaking out over the weekend. They're worried about an alien invasion. They're worried about the Russians or the Chinese, and they're worried about falling debris. Times like this, you want a steady hand at the wheel. You want someone who can safely, sanely, and serenely put Americans at ease and communicate directly to the American people about the fact that there's nothing to fear. Here's Karine Jean-Pierre doing just that.
Why is the American military shooting something out of the sky over Canada?
Because it's part of NORAD. The NORAD is part of it's a what you call a coalition, a consortium,
a pact of nations.
A pact,
okay.
Exactly. And so that's why we were able to do that. Again, we didn't do it on our own. We did it clearly in step with Canada.
Wow, I feel a lot better about this whole thing now. Our best and our brightest working at this administration. I'm sorry, could we watch that one more time?
Why is the American military shooting something out of the sky over Canada?
Because it's part of NORAD. The NORAD is part of it's a what you call a coalition, a consortium,
a pact of nations.
A pact,
okay.
Exactly. And so that's why we were able to do that. Again, we didn't do it on our own. We did it clearly in step with Canada.
instead with Canada. Our friends up north in Canada. Man. Yeah, ever wonder what she was going to be like without that binder to read from? And now you know. That's it for tonight. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. In the meantime, watch the skies, and I'll see you on the radio.